Hello YouTube, welcome to episode 5 of Try Not to Cry, this series where I listen to songs recommended by you the viewer and do my best to not cry. If you have a song that you would like me to listen and react to, leave a comment below and let me know. Because I'm not trying to capitalize off of other artists' work, these videos are not monetized. If you want to help me in the channel, please like and consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's the best way to help me reach more people and it doesn't cost you a penny. Thank you. Also, as always, a quick mental health check before we start. If you're not doing okay, especially if you feel like you might hurt yourself or somebody else, stop this video and go get help. Find a trusted friend, family member, medical provider, or call or text the National Suicide and Crisis Hotline at 988. The world is a better place with you in it, and I'm so happy you're here. For today's episode, I really wanted to focus on songs and artists that I was not familiar with at all. The recommendations are flooding in, so this actually wasn't that hard to do. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for your input. Today we have Juliet by Cavetown, Last Words of a Shooting Star by Mitski, and Bereaved by Mumford & Sons. Please support these artists and their official works. Alright, so we're starting with Juliet by Cavetown. This recommendation comes to us from Pivo. Hello! Like I said, with all of these songs today, I know nothing about the artists, I know nothing about the songs. It is extremely likely that I've never heard any of this before. But I kind of live under a rock, especially since my daughter died. Like, looking at this on YouTube, it already has 21 million views and has been out for 7 years, so this is just one of those things that apparently was popular, is popular, but flew under my radar. So here we are in 2026 finding out what this is about. Without further ado, this is Juliet by Cavetown. Soft acoustic song? Okay, right off the bat, the voice is not at all what I expected. Very soft, very light, but I mean that first line, I need to cry, but I can't get anything out of my eyes. Most of the time, I don't have that problem. I would say, in fact, that most of the time I have the opposite problem, where I need to not cry and it just comes. But here's the thing about crying, everybody, is it is literally your body's physical way of relieving stress and regulating your emotion. It is healthy to cry. Don't ever feel like you can't or shouldn't. And anybody who tells you otherwise can kick rocks and flip-flops. It's a very pretty song. Interesting to break up your verse with just a humming interlude like this. Okay, percussion. Huh. The percussion is electronic, and more electronic elements are becoming present. This is interesting. This is not at all what I expected. Once again, I get a recommendation from you guys, and I go into it thinking it's going to be something, and it ends up being something completely else, and I love it. This is going to be a rough one today, isn't it? Beautiful backup vocals. Oh boy. Okay, you guys are bringing it today. Sometimes I act like I know, but I'm really just a kid with 2 corks in his eyes and a bully in his head. So this is somebody who is their own worst enemy. This is somebody who knows that they have this emotion that they need to express, would prefer to express it and release it by crying, but has a physical barrier to doing so, and has a bully in their head. And it's so hard. It's so ugly that this just seems to be an inherent part of the human condition for so many people, that we just don't like ourselves, that we just have this big part in our heads, big part of our personalities that is just picking ourselves apart constantly. And I'm extremely guilty of this. And this is a huge part of why the whole idea of the Love Yourself project, that art and that symbolism, it's exactly why I chose it, because self-love can be so hard to do. It is often the hardest form of love for people to give and receive. I would say too that when you lose a child, especially to suicide, it comes with an overwhelming side of guilt. And that's something that just everybody has to work through, I guess. We all do it in our own ways, but self-love becomes especially difficult under these circumstances. The singer of this song can relate to that. I really do like this sonic blend. It's subtle, but I really like the bass too. All right, so this is also just like reinforcing that negative self-image that they're carrying. It's kind of ironic that like this is the subject matter of the first song, because I don't consider myself a particularly handsome person. I would say that I'm on the low side of being average. And this isn't me taking a dig at myself. You know, it's more just like I've become comfortable in my middle age. 40 is right around the corner with me. I know that my looks aren't getting better in age. And that's just part of it, right? Is you just, as you get older, you settle into this acceptance that, oh, this is what it is. I've already looked and felt the best that I will look and feel for my life. And so I put a little bit less effort into my appearance today. You know, usually like I'll comb my hair a little bit, and today it's just kind of doing whatever. And I don't care. I mean, again, I'm not in this for the ego. I don't aspire to be famous. And I'm not going to try and pretend that I'm not just an average looking person who doesn't kind of look like a Moai statue from my profile. With that said, I feel like there is a line between accepting your faults and your flaws and just like being okay with it, and having a negative self-image. To have this kind of poignant thought, this kind of very introspective thought of, I hope that somebody looks at me and thinks that I'm attractive, thinks that I'm pretty, but it's something that I just can't bring myself to believe. There's a very quiet sadness to that thought. Little tambourine in there. The electronic elements are getting stronger. I really like this. This is just like a chill beat. A little bit chiptune-y, but just right up my alley. I love video game music. Really, really cool instrumental. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. Huh. Okay, again, I understand why this flew under my radar, because this just is not the kind of music that I would seek. The algorithm would never bring this to me organically. But that said, I now understand why it was recommended to me. I now understand why this has 21 million views on YouTube. I really, really enjoyed the blending of the acoustic guitar and the electronic elements. I've heard a lot of songs where like synth and guitar just are not blended well. You kind of have to either choose one or the other. And just that deep, chiptune-y rolling bass, very simple but crunchy percussion, soft vocals covering the whole thing like a warm blanket. It was just, I would describe this as a chill, sad song. This is the kind of music you listen to on a rainy day where maybe you're not feeling great about yourself, but you're also not like in deep despair. If I were overwhelmed with grief, having one of those episodes where I have to just like lie down and cry for a while, this isn't probably the song that I would listen to. There's almost like a sad comfort to this song. Wonderful song, great way to start the video. I'm not going into song number 2 sad, but the emotional switch has definitely been turned on. All right, so next up we have Last Words of a Shooting Star by Mitski. I don't know anything about Mitski. I know that I have seen this artist's name come up more than once in recommendations. This recommendation specifically comes from Spirited Splashes, who interprets the song as the last thoughts of a depressed person before they pass, a really somber listen. So we'll see if this can be the one to break the streak and actually make me cry. Here is Last Words of a Shooting Star by Mitski. I think I accidentally made the all acoustic episode, guys. This is a lot different than what I expected. Again, I know I keep saying that. I don't really know why I go into these songs and I start hearing acoustic guitar and I just think the song is going to go one way. Maybe it's because so many songs just start with an acoustic guitar like this. But I can tell you already that this artist has a very unique voice, a very unique tone. And this is going to be one of those songs with a cadence that isn't the easiest for your brain to learn immediately. Like they're going to be all over the place. Oh no. Super, super relatable. And I am relieved that I'd left my room tidy. They'll think of me kindly when they come for my things. I keep a lot of the details of my daughter's death private, partially out of respect to her, partially out of respect to the rest of my family, partially because it's not the easiest thing to even talk about. But I think most of all, sharing the details of my daughter's death doesn't really change anything. It doesn't make anything better, and I don't feel obligated to satiate the curiosity of other people. So all that said, I do very firmly believe that my daughter's suicide was not fully intentional. I'm not saying that she did not die by suicide, but there are a lot of signs, there were a lot of reasons that led me to believe that what she did was more on impulse and wasn't something that was planned. I believe in my heart of hearts that she was just exploring self-harm and accidentally took it too far. And one of those reasons is that her room was not tidy. After everything was said and done, I had to go back in there and pick up all her dirty clothes and throw away her garbage, collect her things. And I really do believe that if she had planned to leave when she did, she wouldn't have left a mess and things like that. She wouldn't have left stuff for other people to do in her absence. And it's not that I minded doing that. I mean, I picked up after her entire life. That's just an inherent part of being a parent. But again, she did not leave her room tidy, and that's still like a traumatic thing for me to sit and recall, is having to sit there and like go through all her stuff and clean up her mess after she was gone. That was hard. Okay, Mitski, I see you.
Like a blood-sniffing shark, and while my dreams made music in the night, carefully I was going to live.
What a beautiful voice. Reminds me of Laura Shigihara. Okay, this is actually a positive for me because now it's kind of sounding like this verse is directed more at a romantic interest. Love is a universal thing, and obviously I love my daughter, but so far this second verse is not hitting me as deeply as the first verse did, which is probably good for me.
And you'd say you love me and look in my eyes, but I know through mine you were looking in yours.
Huh.
And did you know the Liberty Bell is a replica silently housed in its original wall?
Interesting.
And while its dreams played music in the night quietly, it was told to believe.
Well, it's such a slow, sad, pretty song.
I always wanted to die clean and pretty, but I'd be too busy on working days. So I am relieved that the turbulence wasn't forecasted. I couldn't have changed anyways. I am relieved that I'd left my room tidy. Goodbye.
What a haunting outro in the most beautiful way. A lot of this song, I thought for sure we were talking about somebody who was planning to end their life. And still maybe that is the case, but the line about relieved that the turbulence wasn't forecasted, I don't know, maybe that makes me think that they died in an accident or something. I don't know. It's definitely like a retrospective take on death. These are the words from somebody who was clearly suffering in their life, but is looking back having already crossed over. But that was just such a pretty song. Like, I can't really think of a better word than pretty. And again, I now understand why I've seen Mitski's name so much in the recommendations. All right, our last song for today is Beloved by Mumford & Sons. Out of all these, Mumford & Sons is the only band that I've ever heard of, but I certainly do not listen to Mumford & Sons. I could not name you one of their songs. This recommendation comes from Vulpecula Faye, who says that this song always makes them cry, so I figured why not give it a shot. All right, here we go. Beloved by Mumford & Sons. Okay, brighter, higher energy, a little bit of pop rock.
Enthroned in white grandeur, but tired and shift. A whisper of waved silver hair from your eyes. I'd never seen you unkempt before. As you whispered, darling, close the door. Well, how have I not made a note of every word you ever said?
Okay. I know a song is hitting me hard when I can neither fight the tears nor my terrible accent. This is very clearly about losing a loved one. It's so very relatable because it doesn't matter how much I loved and appreciated and cherished my daughter and my time with her while she was here. And I truly did. I know I wasn't a perfect father to her, but I do look back and know that I was present in so many moments and I did so many things with her. Because of my career in the military, I didn't get to see and be with my children all the time. And so when we were together, I really tried to make that time count. But man, just reading those words, it is like a knife sliding between my ribs and it's getting dangerously close to my heart.
Time is not on our side, but I pretend that it's alright. Before you leave, you must know you are beloved. And before you leave, remember I was with you. Are you afraid? However, could you not be in this rosy light? This is strange. I feel a hand come through the mirror pointing at the light. Before you leave, you must know you are beloved. And before you leave, remember I was with you. And as you leave, I won't hold you back, beloved.
Oh boy. So even though the lyrics of this song, to me, are alluding more to a death that you could see coming, you know, maybe losing a loved one slowly to illness or age. That's something that I can't relate to because, you know, I've had two very difficult deaths to deal with in the last 3 years. That being my daughter, who was 13, and my brother, who was 34. Though they died in different circumstances for different reasons, they were both far too young, and neither death was expected. But that said, it doesn't really matter who you lose or how you lose them. Grief is just this universal thing. Like I've said in other works on this channel, grief extends beyond that. I often say that grief is not just the loss of a person to death. You can lose a pet, you can lose a job, you can fall out of a meaningful relationship. All of those come with grief. But I definitely understand why in the recommendation they said that this song always makes them cry because, oh boy.
We'll sit and talk, the stars down from the sky. Down not forget the chaos in your eyes, love. And as you leave, you must know you are beloved. And as you leave, I can see the wild has come for you. And as you leave, I won't hold you back, beloved. And as you leave, see my children playing at your feet.
What a pretty song. I know in more than one of these videos, I've said that this is the closest I've been to crying, but I do think this is the closest I've been to crying. I do try to dissect this music a little bit, even though I don't have a professional musical background. What I'm gathered from Mumford and Sons is they fall into this genre of, I mean, it's certainly pop music, but there's definitely soft rock elements. There's definitely like country and bluegrass elements. Vocals were very strong, but also not overpowering, which works very well for this style of music, in my opinion. And what just a powerful message. I mean, oh, damn it, I'm still fighting it. You know, in reflection, I find myself thinking about all of my wishes. And sure, like, I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could do things over. I wish I could save my daughter and my brother. I don't know whether or not their deaths were part of God's plan or not. I guess I've kind of just accepted that if they are, then I'm not meant to understand the plan, and that's fine. But out of all the things that I wish nothing more than for my daughter to be okay. I wish for her to be at peace. I wish for her to not feel guilt or shame or regret or be hung up on the circumstances of her death. And just like this song says, I want nothing more than for her to know that she's beloved. You know, it's a part of why I still continue this YouTube channel and stuff, is because there's this small, silly part of me that thinks, okay, maybe if I say it loud enough, maybe if I say it enough times, maybe if I put it out into the universe and enough people hear me say it, that all this love for her that is just spilling out of my broken heart will somehow reach her. Well, I didn't really mean to choose 3 semi-acoustic, slow, sad, quiet, somber songs, but that seems to be the list that I accidentally curated today. With that said, I somehow managed to once again get through all 3 of these songs without crying. By a thread, mind you. So for episode number 5. Challenge passed. Thank you again to everybody who's leaving comments and recommending songs. I really am enjoying doing this, and again, it's just been a really cool way to get to know you guys even more. Again, if you have a song that you'd like me to listen and react to, leave a comment and let me know. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please just do so. It really does help me. That concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. And in the meantime, please take care and remember to love yourself.